we're still talking about sex and how the younger generation has changed their view around sex, despite the fact that it is quite a normal thing to explore even in shoujo manga. And I specifically wanted to respond to this comment right here, not to lecture them, but to offer a different perspective. So the comment reads, personally, as someone who's 20, I think the reason why we've kind of gone backwards is because of how much we've seen of it and how casual it was. It was made less of an act with someone you love and more of just a fun thrill. And now people are pushing away from it. And I did see other people in their early 20s also chime in and reinforce the idea that the good sex is meant to be deep and meaningful. Anything else probably gets seen in a very negative light. And here's where I want to offer a different perspective, because sex is not only acceptable when it's deep and meaningful. Like I said in my previous video, the act of sex is not raunchy, vulgar, dirty, something that you should be ashamed of. Sexual exploration in your teens and early adulthood doesn't always come in a very deep and meaningful act. A lot of times it is awkward, it is scary, it is nerve-wracking, and it can also be pretty funny as well. The act of sex being casual is completely fine because it doesn't always have to be deep and meaningful and serious. If the two people consenting to this act just want to have sex for fun, for pleasure, for nothing deep and meaningful, that is totally acceptable. And I do want to make this 100% clear that I am talking about a consensual relationship. That means both parties are on the same page. I am not talking about anything else. I also do want to reinforce that sometimes sex can happen between people that don't love each other, but they want to explore each other. As long as they consent and they're on the same page, that is completely acceptable. If we start making distinctions about good and moral sex and immoral sex, we're going down the same path of slut shaming that we saw in the early 2000s. And I know some of you watching this video might be too young to remember this, or maybe you weren't even born. But when it comes to sexual exploration and who faces the most shame, it has always been women. Women and girls that partake in sex, that express sexual desire, even though it is completely normal and part of growing up, women are often seen as not pure. That's why the whole virginity as a sign of purity is always reinforced, especially by very conservative communities and religions. And maybe this is where like millennials and older generation need to step in to give their perspective, because what we are seeing from younger generations is genuinely very